people do miss this, then we can always come back and they can always
Absolutely.
watch the recording.
Cool. Okay. And in the general theme of the night, I just kind of realized about 30 seconds ago, oh my God, I haven't opened up about 3 or 4 different things that I wanted to show you. But anyway, we'll wing it. So hi, everybody. Gavin, you might just confirm you can see my screen there, yeah?
Yeah, can see it fine, thank you.
Perfect. And you can see my little dot on the screen there as well, can you?
You can as well, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to build a bot. I know we're sick to death of COVID. I should really change the theme of it, but it was kind of at the time, I was like, oh, let's do it on COVID. What if I wanted to build a COVID response bot in 10 minutes-ish? So that gives you an idea of how much longer I'll be talking, okay? Let's pop out in here. Got to go to Teams. So it's all over here. If I go into my triple dots, I've got Power Virtual Agents is available to me. And also we've got Power Automate. Let's go into Power Virtual Agents. This is where I might have to wait a minute or two while certain things happen. But I'm home. I can go into my chatbots that already exist. And you can see that I've got actually 2 at the moment. I've got GrowBot and I'm getting ready for a 5-minute lightning talk at Christmas. So I've got an elf bot created as well, okay? But for here, I'm going to do a new chatbot. Okay. Yeah, I'll pop it into my normal. So this is a question of what team is going on in there, right? So what team will be using this bot? So that is something to think about. If you are using this in an organization, how would you position it in context of your existing team structure and your team clients and your tenants and all that type of stuff in there, okay? In my case, I'm going to go nice and simple, which is my reboot, which is my basic demo tenant that I use for stuff. Going to get to the second part of it, and we're just going to call it PBI bot for now. Not very original. English. Like my mouse is acting up on me at the moment, and sometimes it does a random go backwards movement. So apologies about that. I got to do this part of it again. Oh, right, into reboot. PBI bot. Great, that's better. So that will start creating the bot. Normally doesn't take that long, 30 seconds or so. Gives me a nice little friendly icon going on there. But as soon as it's created, the next thing I'm going to go looking at are my topics, all right? And the topics are your commands, right? So I get this in here, I can explore my documents, etc. That's all good and stuff. That's all fine and stuff. I'll flick onto my topic section. And it pulls up there's a whole bunch of topics in here that are kind of out of the box with some demo ones, etc. Okay? But I'm going to go straight into creating a new one. Mouse is acting up on me again. That's better. Okay. Go to topics again. Thank you. New topic. And it's going to be COVID response. So I'm just going to put in COVID. Oh, we are getting the gremlins today. I don't want to create a new chatbot. Thank you. Yeah. Go on. Okay. PBI bot. Right. We're all good again. Into topics. New topic. COVID is going to be the call in here. All right. Trigger phase. So you're setting up in a few different kind of phrases. You're trying to anticipate what way would a person maybe ask a question. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple of things in there. It's basically going to pick up on the thing. Save off that topic. I'm going to save lots now because I've had a couple of slip-ups with the mouse. And now I'm going to switch on to the authoring canvas. And this is what you get presented with. Trigger phrases. So I've got 2 trigger phrases in here so far. So let's pretend I've got a few different things. Let's start off nice and friendly. So, hi, let's look at the username. Okay, so I'll send up a little message and then I'm going to ask a question. And maybe I want to set this up as so what I'll actually do is I'm going to delete that, hook it on here and ask a question again. What can I help you with? Okay, so let's put in a couple of choices. It's going to be multiple choices. That's fine. So first one is what is the okay, and the other one maybe is I need some equipment. I made another one is now you know what happened in here. It's scrolling off. Okay. So set up a basic, what's the COVID policy? What can I help you with? Throws up 3 different things and notice what's happened underneath here. Okay. Let's just try to zoom that in. So you notice what happens on here. We got 3 different, there we go. Let's shrink this down a bit. We got 3 different conditions have appeared based upon as I was adding in questions and possible things to answer. It goes, okay, if it's condition over here for this one, condition for office equipment, condition I need to ask something else. So now I'm inside condition. What do I want to do in here? Well, this might be quite straightforward. This might be simply a case of work from home and Okay, the work from home policy. This is very much just an English bunch of text going on there. It can output it onto it. And then we'll ask another question. Help you with anything else? Okay. Yes. Nope. Okay. I note again, 2 more conditions have appeared. Now, if it's yes, and this is a little bit annoying. So far, oh, it's actually working for me. Maybe they fixed that. I'm going to reroute the yes action back up to here. So if they do say yes, I need to help you with something else, you send them straight back up to the whole point. If it's no, you're going to go, okay, show message. Okay, and that's my end. So I've kind of done up one condition side of things. Let's add on something on here. It's whole loss of equipment. Okay, so I'm going to ask another question out of this. What equipment? And let's just say we need a chair. Might be one of the options in there. We need a desk. We need a dock station. Say maybe there are my 3 bits of equipment going on. Again, we scrolled over and we see as before, we have got the 3 conditions coming out. So now what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to call an action. Now in this case, I've pre-built an action. Okay, I've got a couple of things in here. And one of them is called COVID home equipment. And what it does is it gets an input from user display name, and the equipment is the variable. Got to check the variable is put into var2. var2 contains a bit of equipment. Now, these I'm going to root here. Sorry, guys. Oh. Sorry, I've just got a little lost one. There you go. That's what I want to do. because I don't have to create the same action every time, right? What I do have to do here sometimes is put in a delivered message just so I can grab that and move it across, which means I'm going to go up and tidy up a couple of unneeded things here. Okay, so now let's flow through our bot at the moment. See how our logic is. I've got one branch done. I've got another branches going on here. And now, of course, what I can do down here is I can redirect this to see, do I need any more help? And yet again, I find this seems to be a little bit of an issue when I'm doing it via this plane, all right, that I have to ask a question in order that I can drag this little dot. If I haven't done that, then it means I can drag it around the place and kind of go, can I help you with anything else? Now it goes up there. Okay, so now we got a bit of logic going on down there. And yes goes into that. Following through, following through. And the no is going down there because we've already redirected onto the question. Awesome, so 2 of the 3 done. And the last one is ask a question. I need to ask something else, okay? Let me zoom in a little bit so I can see things. What do you need to find out? And in this case, I'm going to capture the whole response. My action out of this is call an action. And I've got another little thing in here saying send an email to support. And we set it up as in this user has a question and variable 4 is the outcome of it. We're checking order flow logic. Can help you with anything else. This is the last bit I want to go on here. So again, just have to do the whole ask a question so I can grab this part of it. Redirect it to over there. Got a couple of orphan bits and pieces to get rid of. And this will be a really good time to save all that. Save up that. And now we can test it. So you show here now, you can see here how it's flowing through my bot. Asking the question, what's the work from home policy? I'll ask that, and it displays, well, this is the work from home policy. Can I help you with anything else? So it's flow down. So it's flow through here, output, this is the policy, ask you down anything else I want to help you with? Yes, please. In which case now it directs me back up to the first question. I need some home office equipment. What equipment? I need a chair. Can I help you with anything else? Yes, please. And let's check the third one. I need to ask something else. What do you need to find out? Can you contact me? Can I help you with anything else? Nope. Thank you for using PBIBot. We've all saved that. We go back, send it to home. There's my bot. Here's all my topics again. And now I can go away and publish that. Publish that. Latest and available in a few minutes. And it does take a couple of minutes before it's actually 100% available in there. But that's the basic workings of creating a bot. I did conveniently skip over a couple of items in there in that I had already pre-built some Power Automated workflows in there, okay? So let's just pop back in quickly to kind of look to see how it would look like if I wanted to go away, create a new bit of Power Automation, okay? So let's go back into my topics. And into my, sorry, we're into my code, thank you. There it is. Go back into my authoring canvas. And let's say out of this one, if I wanted to call an action, what I've been doing so far is just I have been selecting one of my existing flows that exists. However, I could also go create a flow. What actually happens when it creates a flow, it shows up a few options that you might have. But if we look at the basic template, this is how Power Virtual Agents interacts with Power Automate. Basically, you got a Power Virtual Agent as an input and a return value back to Power Virtual Agents. Then when you add in a new step and you add in an action, it opens up the whole Power Automate world for you. Okay, so if I wanted to do something on Azure, all right, on Azure DevOps or an Azure VM, and say I wanted to start up a VM, which is one of my automated things that I have, like start a virtual machine, I can go in, connect onto my login, and get that going. In fact, what we'll do is we'll show you a couple of the ones that I've built. Okay, and we are going to go to in here. If we go looking at, say, that COVID home equipment one, this is Power Automate. You can see how it ran successfully earlier 3 minutes ago. Go and looking at the edit of this. Makes me wait dramatically. But we'll see that Power Virtual Agent start point, where it passes in user and equipment. It goes, creates an item on my site, passes in the name of the user, the equipment, and the time. So let's go looking for that. Oops, not that. Let's go look at this just to show you the list. And it was connected to COVID. I gotta find that. COVID working from home. So I have a list in here, and you can see there are the 2 items that I just added in, or the 1 item that I added in today when I ran the bot. So it's just added stuff into my list. And then the return back to Power Virtual Agent is as straightforward that is requested now. Okay, if I was to look at one of the other ones, what did I do today? Check timesheet. And again, just have to wait a couple of seconds for it to open. A little bit more work going on in here, but not a whole pile. It starts off again with the Power Virtual Agent going, well, who and what date. I then have to declare a few variables to make this work. I then got a SharePoint list search going on where I can open up a timesheet in here. Then I'm building another variable, and then I got to iterate over what I get back from the SharePoint, build it up until I can eventually get down to a whole I have time or I don't have time, and then I return my value. So a little bit more building to make that one work, but still all inside in that Power Automate world. Okay, pop back to the PowerPoint and finish this off. So that was my demo, how to create a bot in 10 minutes-ish, which is probably about all right. Why would you do this? I mean, to me, I like this. It's a single interface to do lots of different tasks, okay? Because it's very easy to imagine all sorts of different things automated, but putting it all into nice one place that actually other users can interact with, I think is very nice. It's a low code, no code environment. You saw me create a bot there in 10 minutes, and that is deployed to my environment now. We all know automation saves time, and it all reduces errors in there as well. So really the difference here is you're automating and putting it into the hands of your end users in a nice, safe manner. Empower users in a controlled manner. Okay, so I think it's very powerful to be able to give the ability to end users to do certain things, but you want them to do it in a controlled manner. You don't want them to have different interfaces for lots of different things. You can just wrap it all up in the team's environment. Again, it doesn't prevent you running any of this stuff directly. I mean, I had a couple of SharePoint lists in there, right? Nothing stops me going straight to that SharePoint list, but it's just consolidation of my interface in here. And then you can deploy to other channels in there. You can deploy your bot to other channels. What I mean by that is if you wanted to use your bot outside of your team's environment, you could certainly look at that, but bear in mind the cost. The free part of this, or the included part of the license here, works when you're in the Teams situation. Also, worth pointing out, because a lot of times things on a phone is a bit of a gimmick, I think, but actually I find this works quite well on a phone once you have the Teams app on your phone, because you break up a chat with your bot. And I often find I'll log my timesheet from my phone because I remember later on the day that, oh, I didn't do that. Saves me turning on my computer. I just go to my phone and go type away and get it done. Pretty much that's as much as I wanted to cover in here. I can talk to you a little bit more about how GrowBot works, which is the one that is going on. It's probably worth having a quick look at it. Clicking out of Power Automate. Oops, sorry, wrong environment. Go into Teams again. And go to my chatbot. And go looking at GrowBot. And you're going to see the same type of things that I just created in the COVID response bot, just a little bit more of it, because there's more things that can be done here. If I go looking at my topics, here's the different topics I have. And then any individual one of these we can look at. So if we look at the tweet topic, go to the ordering canvas in there. Tweet, what you want me to tweet, capture the whole response, Power Automate connects onto my send a tweet one, displays back, I've sent that tweet. So it's not the one authoring canvas for every bit of functionality that the bot does. It's an authoring canvas per topic. If I look at my log timesheet, there my trigger phase going on. Go to my canvas, timesheet, what date, what customer, what are you working on, how many hours, etc. Logs it all, and then asks me, do I want to do it again? So there's a little bit more redirection stuff going on there, but exactly the same concept. So that's GrowBot. Okay. And that's it. I mean, that's what I want to show you. I'd be really curious to see what people think about this one, because I always feel sometimes with this, it's am I showing a gimmick, or is it something that people feel could be useful in their organizations? So if you would be so kind to maybe let me know inside in the chat here now if you thought any of that would be of any use. And obviously, if you have any questions, happily try to answer them. Oh, I see a question coming in from Kian. You can come off me, Mike, if you want, guys, as well.
Yeah, so Kian did ask a question earlier on, and maybe if you may not have seen that, but it was more about the questions, right?
Oh, so, yeah, exactly. I see it in there now. Do you need a question?
Ask the question exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Put in an answer, hopefully you confirm that.
Yeah, the more you put in, Keen, the better. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's basically, I suppose you would have to think here about, if I have the one bot handling multiple topics. I had an interesting chat in one group about this in there actually about, would you, if you had lots of diverse topics, would you create lots of diverse bots, or would you try to create one bot? I prefer the idea of having one bot because it does interface on your team's channel in the following way. All right, that when I go in looking at it, I see it over here in my chat. Okay, so I have a specific chat with GrowBot. So if I had 10 bots in here, my whole chat would be taken up with lots of different spaces, lots of different. So I think it's generally better to turn around and go, well, I'll by and large try to have one bot. Now, the minute you do that, you then have to think about, well, I got one bot deployed to a team. So how wide is that team? Okay, so it probably works well in a departmental level, maybe, you know, where you say maybe had an IT kind of department in there that might have all sorts of different things ready to go in there, and they kind of want to deploy to the whole department to kind of go, hey, if anybody wants to do any of these things, like, you know, create a user, we assume you've gone through the approval process, all right, but you can quickly access it here, as opposed to sending on to Joe in the corner who might get around to it in a couple of weeks' time because he's swamped with 10 other things or 100 other things to do. Okay, and then in that context, your trigger phrases, you got to kind of watch the overlap. All right, so say if we're doing something like create a user, you probably will kind of think that user will be one of the key words there, right? So create a user, add a user, that type of stuff. But then you might get caught if you had another very similar trigger phrase to do something else. like, change user security. So you could get a little bit caught between there. Really, it's a suck it and see. I like the idea of multiple triggers and tune them up enough. Once they're in there, I find it does a relatively decent job of trying to work out quickly. And if it does get caught, it will ask you. Okay, it will actually ask you, I don't understand what you've asked me, and sometimes throw up a kind of an options in there.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Very helpful.
No worries at all, Cian. Interesting to see, yeah, Cian, you're kind of saying in there, you can see use cases. I think people generally do see use cases for it, because it kind of comes down to that whole, there has to be little things that are so automatable, but yet still the IT department end up running it. Okay, so to me, I think there's an interesting thing of kind of going, can you actually push that out to someone in there? And we did do that with one client when there was kind of lots of ad hoc requests coming in to reprocess a Power BI model in there, And I told the guy who kind of developed this, says, you could give him a bot to do that. And that's exactly what he did, because he kind of got sick of them asking him. So he just put up in a bot and he says, go ask the bot anytime you want it done, So the guys now just ask the bot when they want them to refresh his model. I assume they don't ask for more than 8 times a day, all right, because otherwise it wouldn't happen. But yeah, it's nice that it's there, that they can just do it, and it's saving that person a little bit of time. And I think saving people a little bit of time can actually be really, really useful. I would definitely love to get into another client of mine to do with security, because even though I don't have to manage it, but I'm kind of the architect of this thing, and there's I think it's a nice setup with our security, but it's very AD dependent in there. Okay, as in moving AD moves a user from one group to another group. Now they don't do it often, but anytime they do it, they got to fill out a form, they got to send it in, and then someone's got to action it. So you could definitely see how you could probably do that a little bit better in a bot environment, all right? And even probably having some authorization that only certain people can ask the bot, because it would be easy enough to build in a checkbox that, well, hang a second, is this user who's asking me actually authorized to do this by looking up membership of another AD group? And if yes, then go, okay, move Mark from this group to that group, and that changes things on security, and then you could delegate that back out to business owners. And that's the key part there. You wouldn't delegate maybe that to everybody, but you could delegate it to going, well, IT are just managing the system, but really it's, the sales department system. So you go set up the security, except we don't want you to go create an AD users. So we're going to give you a mechanism that will do it in a nice sanitized check. And I think if you start thinking that way, you could definitely see options for it.
Yeah, so it's brilliant. Definitely some functionality there. Thanks very much.
And it's fun and it's easy. It's there. You know what I mean? I kind of like this talk. Sorry, my voice is a bit weak tonight. I'm a bit low in energy. So, but hopefully you got the whole point of it in there anyway.
I did. Brilliant presentation. Thanks very much. Very helpful.
Awesome. That's it, guys. Short and sweet. Kept it underneath 45 minutes, I think.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant, Mark. Really, really good. Definitely some really cool stuff there, and you kind of, it's almost, I guess, limited by your imagination from when you start building in Power Automate as well.
Yeah. Like the whole Power Automate's got what, 200 connectors or something like that. So yeah, I think that's the key part of it. Hooking up with Power Automate, really, on its own, it's just kind of information is what you're throwing out. But the minute you throw it onto Power Automate, you're kind of going, actually, you can finish. I mean, with a small, what I do want to do on this demo the next time is actually get you kind of see it when I ask what did I do today, and it does a sum over my timesheet. Well, small bit of twisting and turning, could probably get a basic ad hoc query tool almost written in here, cheesy along the lines of, say, imagining the question is, how many open support incidents do we have? Okay, and let's pretend the support database is accessible. You can turn around and quickly enough write up a query that would probably manage that.
Yeah.
Kind of very much your operational queries, Anyway, look, that's it, guys. So if you do, I do actually have a blog up about this one. I think up on my, I don't have many blog topics, but I think I actually do have one on this one. And if not, happy to take any questions. If you contact me on Twitter or anything like that, and do my best to help out. Oh, and Catherine's put up about the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So we'll upload the video once we've finished, and then it's been edited. We'll upload and we'll post on Twitter and LinkedIn. It's available. I think Catherine's after your blog.
Oh yeah, it's somewhere here. Sorry, I'm a really crap blogger. It's like, oh yeah, I got that then, right? But that's the website address in there anyway. So the blog's underneath that, so it's in there. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Listen, thanks a million for having me, and have a good end of the year. We can't quite say happy end of the year thing, but we're coming up close to the happy end of year thing.